Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to jump in and we're going to learn 26 essential idioms for business English. Now I'm going to do these alphabetically. I'm going to go right from A right through to Z. So all of these idioms are just ones that I've taken from my book of my Global Business English Mastery series, but we're going to do A to Z right now. Let's jump right in. Okay, first one, starting with A, is ahead of the curve. Ahead of the curve means to be more advanced or more innovative than others. So this could be a person, a product, a policy, a company, an innovation. It just means that you're ahead of everyone else. So we need to stay ahead of the curve by adopting AI. So using the new technology keeps your company or your process or your department ahead of the curve, in front of everyone else. Okay, this next one is really nice because it's very easy to understand, even if you're speaking with someone and English is not their first language, so you're talking with global teams and other ESL learners. Even if people have not heard this idiom is very easy to understand. So it is bite off more than you can chew. Just imagine a hamburger or a pizza or whatever you're eating, and if you bite off and put in your mouth more than you can actually chew and eat, then it's difficult for you to manage. This means the same thing. So bite off more than you can chew means to take on more responsibility than you're able to manage. So don't bite off more than you can chew by accepting multiple projects at once. Okay, we're on to C now, and this is caught off guard or to catch off guard. This means to be surprised or unprepared. So we were totally caught off guard by our competitor's sudden price drop. We weren't prepared for it. We were completely surprised by something. So if you're unprepared for something and surprised for something, you can say, I was caught off guard, or we don't want to be caught off guard. We need to prepare and do our research. Okay, next up is a double-edged sword. This is a sword for fighting. The W is silent. So a double-edged sword means a situation or a decision that has both negative and positive consequences, a good side and a bad side, a positive and a negative, a pro, a con. This is a double-edged sword. So outsourcing can be a double-edged sword, cost savings, but quality issues. That's a double-edged sword. Okay, next up is explore all avenues. Avenue is another word for street or road. So to explore all avenues means to investigate or consider all possible options or methods. So before making a decision, we should explore all avenues to ensure it's the best call. Call means decision. Okay, now we're on to F. This is fine tune. And fine tune means to make small adjustments or improvements to make something better, to fine tune. So really small adjustments, hopefully to improve something or to make it better. So we need to fine tune our point of sales display to increase impulse purchases. You're not going to do an overhaul, not a complete change. You have something existing, it works, but it's not perfect. You want to improve it, you're going to fine tune it. Okay, now we're going to get down to business. To get down to business is to start working seriously or focusing on the main task. So often when there's a meeting, there's a little bit of small talk in the beginning, and then, okay, let's get down to business. So this means, okay, we were small talking. Now it's time to talk about the task at hand. So let's get down to business. Roll up your sleeves. You're ready to work. Let's get started. Okay, next one is to have a lot on your plate. This means you have a plate is when you have a plate of food, a dish of food, and to have a lot on your plate means you have too much. If you've ever seen my husband at a buffet, that's have enough on your plate or have too much on your plate. But to have a lot on your plate in business English means you're overly busy with too many tasks. So you're holding that plate and it's full of tasks. You're worried that plate's going to break or you're going to drop it or things are going to fall off. So to have a lot on your plate means you are at your max capacity of what you can do and tasks you can take on. So a good example would be, I have a lot on my plate right now. I can't squeeze you in this week. I'm sorry. And to squeeze someone in is to fit someone into your schedule. So if your schedule is completely full and you want to put someone in that schedule, you could squeeze them in. Means find room for them even though your schedule is full. Or I can't squeeze you in. I have a lot on my plate right now. It means I am full with tasks, full with responsibilities. I can't fit you in. This next one's great because it's so descriptive, like a lot of idioms are, but this one even more so. In the bag. In the bag just means it's a guaranteed success. It's certain to be achieved or won. So the clients loved the sales pitch. The deal is in the bag. It just means they love the sales pitch. There's no question they're not going to sign a deal with us. Okay, next up is jump through hoops. This is really useful and a really interesting one. Think of a circus and you have those hoops that they would line up, and then the dog has to jump through the hoops to get to the final part for the show. So to jump through hoops is when you have to go through a very difficult or complicated situation or process in order to achieve something. So City Hall had us jumping through hoops to get the permit for the new building. It wasn't a straightforward process. We had lots of complicated processes to get through, to jump through hoops. Went from your start to your goal. If it's a complicated, difficult process, jump through hoops. Okay, the next one is keep your ear to the ground. I mean, if you were on a safari and you were worried about elephants trampling you, you may put your ear to the ground so from a distance you can hear those elephants coming. This is kind of what it means. So to keep your ear to the ground, it means you're staying informed about what's happening or what might happen in an industry, in your company, in your field. So a good FMGC purchaser needs to keep their ear to the ground to anticipate consumer trends. So they have their kind of almost like having your finger on the pulse, knowing what's happening. Keep your ear to the ground is even that much more connected, being very connected and informed to what's happening or what could be happening. Okay, next one is leave the door open. Just like if you're going to leave the door open in case someone wants to come over and visit you, it's the same thing figuratively in business English. To leave the door open, you're maintaining possibility of a future opportunity. You're not closing that door or sealing that. You're leaving it open in case something comes up in the future where you want to collaborate or work together. So even if negotiations fall through, let's leave the door open for future collaborations. We're not going to completely close the door. We're going to leave it open a little bit. Next one is my hands are tied. So if your hands are tied, you can't do anything or go anywhere. You are restricted. This is what it means in business English. If you say my hands are tied, I'm unable to take action because of restrictions or limitations. A client asks for a discount. Your CFO says, not going to happen. You say, I'm sorry, my hands are tied. It just means I have no control. I'm not able to take any action on this. I'm restricted by the CFO. So I agree the timeline is tight, but my hands are tied by the contract. The contract has the timelines in there. I'm legally bound. I have no way to move anything. I have no control. I'm unable to make any changes or take any action. Okay, next one's a little dark, but we do use this. This is nail in the coffin. And nail in the coffin means that an event or an action leads to the ultimate failure or end of something. Now, a coffin is that box that someone who passed away means died, someone who is dead would go in that box, and then you'd bury them in the ground. So a nail in the coffin just means something's dying, and then that poof, nail in the coffin, it's sealed, that's dead and in the ground. So the loss of their biggest client was the nail in the coffin for the company, and then they went bankrupt very soon afterwards. So again, an event or action that leads to the complete failure, death, or end of something. Okay, next one is off the charts. So we've all worked with charts, pie charts and line charts and bar charts. If something's off the charts, it just means that little arrow, that little line has poof, left the page, left the screen. It's off the charts. This means exceeding expectations or going beyond the normal range. So exceeding expectations is positive, right? So sales have been off the charts since our last campaign. This is positive. Or our debt is now off the charts. So again, this is not positive, but it's gone beyond the normal range. So it could be positive or it could just be beyond what's normal. So sales have been off the charts since we launched our pistachio chocolate, for example. This next one is super fun. It's pick one's brain. So of course you'd replace one with your, my, his, their brain. So this means to ask someone for their knowledge, their opinions, their ideas, or their expertise. So if someone has a lot of knowledge in one area, you could say, can I pick your brain about this? Or we should pick Jane's brain about the Asian market. She knows that market really well. So if you're going to ask someone for their knowledge, their ideas, their expertise on a certain topic, you're picking their brain. It sounds strange, it sounds slang, it's not. It's perfectly good and useful business English. Okay, next up is a question mark. Now, of course, you know at the end of a question, you're going to put a question mark, but a person can be a question mark. A situation can be a question mark. A product, a project can be a question mark. This means something or someone that is uncertain or someone whose performance is a little doubtful. So, for example, it's a question mark if the client will sign with us for next year. Just means we don't know. Or the new packaging is a question mark to see how customers respond to it. Or our new CEO is a bit of a question mark. We don't know how he's going to fit in or implement change. Okay, next one, we're on R. This is ring a bell. Ring is ding, 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 to chime a bell. So if something rings a bell, all it means is it sounds familiar, but you can't really identify where you know it from or you don't know more information on it. So that name rings a bell, but I can't remember where I've heard it before. This could be for a person's name or a company name or a concept. Are you familiar with the Pareto principle? Oh, that rings a bell. It just means I've heard that word before or that name before. That's all I know, but it's not completely foreign to me. Okay, next one is sleep on it. Sleep on it means you're going to delay making a decision and have more time to think about what you want to do or what decision you want to make. So let me sleep on it and I'll give you an answer tomorrow. Now, to sleep on it does not mean you're sleeping just that night and thinking about it and you'll give an answer the next day. It completely could be, but it could be 2 days or it could be a week. I wouldn't be saying more than a week, but it definitely wouldn't be within the same day. It means at least give me a day to think about it. So I need to sleep on it. I'm not sure what to do. Okay, next one is actually a pretty straightforward idiom used a lot in business English. This is test the waters. I mean, if you're going to go into a pool, very rarely will you just jump in. You're going to put your toe and a little bit of your foot in the water to test if you like the temperature of the water. And if you like it, you'll go in. If you don't like it, you won't go in. So exactly the same thing here in business English. To test the waters is to try something before you fully commit to it. So we're testing the waters by launching in smaller markets first. So a new company comes out with a new type of pencil. We're going to test the waters in this market, not our biggest market. We're just going to see how this works in this one market. This next one is an incredibly useful idiom, up in the air. It just means up in the air. It's not secure on solid ground. So this is when something is uncertain or undecided. It's up in the air. So nothing's been secured, nothing's concrete. It's still an idea that's floating around and nothing's been set yet. So the details of the meeting are still up in the air. It means we have not set the date, we've not set the agenda, we've not set the location. It's up in the air. Okay, now we're on to V. This is variety is the spice of life. So this means embracing diversity or trying different approaches can often bring better results or be more fruitful. So when brainstorming, variety is the spice of life, don't hold back. The more different angles we hear from, the different people we hear from, different markets we hear from is going to be better for us. Okay, we're nearly done the alphabet. We're on W. Again, at the top of the comments of this video, I'm going to pin a PDF. You can click on it, or a link to a PDF. You can click on it, download it. It will have all these idioms, all the definitions, example sentences, and I will include a little quiz at the end just so you can reinforce and test your knowledge. Also, you can find a link to my book in my profile. It's available on Amazon. It's 5-star rated. It's a fantastic big book. Lots more idioms there waiting for you. Anyways, let's continue. So we're at W, work the room. This is amazing. This is a great idiom. It means when someone's able to network by talking to multiple people at an event. So networking is networking. Everyone knows this word. But when you're at an event, whether it's a networking event or just any type of corporate event, and if you're able to move around talking to different people and network effectively, this is called working the room. So you could say Vaughn worked the room effortlessly, making connections and securing 3 leads. So that means he worked the room. He used that room to his full advantage and everyone in it, and he did very well. Okay, next one is X factor. And if someone has the X factor, it means they have a unique quality that makes them stand out. This could also be used for an object too, or a company or a product. So in a crowded market, you need an X factor to stand out and get the job. You need to have a unique quality that makes you stand apart, makes you different, makes you unique, makes you special from other people. That's the X factor. Okay, now we have you snooze, you lose. Snooze is another way to say sleep. So if you're sleeping and you're not active, you're going to lose something. So in business English, this means if you delay or you hesitate, you may miss a good opportunity. So we could have closed the deal yesterday, but now the clients have other offers. You snooze, you lose. We weren't fast enough. We delayed. We hesitated. We were sleeping. We weren't active. We lost out on a great opportunity. And we made it to Z or Z, depending on where you're from. Just an interesting thing here. Americans say Z, British, Canadians, and Australians say Z. I'm Canadian, therefore I sound American. I have an American accent, but I do say Z. Canadians are funny that way with languages. Anyways, to zero in on, this is great. It means to focus closely or concentrate on something specific. So not just focus on, if you're focusing on something, maybe your focus is this wide. If you're zeroing in on it, your focus is like a pin needle. It's incredibly sharp and incredibly focused. So we need to zero in on our ideal demographic to improve sales. We're focusing on our demographic. That focus is too wide. We need to zero in on. So really make it a lot smaller. Okay, we've done it. We've gone through 26 essential business English idioms from A right through to Z. Again, I have my book available on Amazon if you're interested, but if not, no problem. Keep coming back for videos. I'll keep throwing everything I know on YouTube. And again, in the comments, you will be able to link to a download of all of these that I've taught you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, I encourage you to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for your support.